Hello everybody, my name is Dratnos and welcome to my Mythic Stormwall video. This is the penultimate boss, the second to last boss of Battle of Dazar'alor, and a pretty good fight. A little bit, it could benefit from an enrage timer is I think the main thing that would make it into a really good second to last boss. As it is though, you can kind of just stumble across the finish line at the end. Anyways, it starts off with you splitting your raid into two groups of 10, and you each go onto a different boat. Here you can see I'm on the side of Sister Catherine, and she does these like zappy lines that go across the boat and you need to dodge. And on Mythic as well, there's this sea swell mechanic, which happens throughout Phase 1, and that will put swirlies that are very lethal underneath players. If you get hit by more than one of them, you're going to die, basically. And it leaves behind a patch of yucky ground that doesn't actually do all that much damage, and it doesn't stack, like it doesn't do more damage if more swirlies were there, it just does damage if there's any yuckiness on the ground, it's all the same. So the main strategy with this is to be economical with your space and drop it in good places. Other than that, this phase is pretty simple. You're going to DPS the boss down to 50%, and then they will switch boats with each other, and now Brother Joseph comes over. And Brother Joseph has a much more difficult set of mechanics. Gift of the Sea. Let's see what it's called. Sea Storm. There it is. This mechanic that's on me right now leaves behind a little void zone that also slows you down, so you want to go drop those in safe places, and again, you want to be economical with your space, and that's challenging with sea swells around as well. And then there are these little sirens that come out as well. You can see here I'm cloaking so that I could drop that thing in a good spot. And you need to kill these sirens before they finish tempting their target. If that target gets pulled all the way to them, they'll get jumped off the boat, and that's a bit of a disaster, so you need to be very careful with that. And then here you can see they also do this Tidal Empowerment cast where they put a shield on themselves and start channeling energy into the boss. If the boss gets up to 100 energy, that's a wipe, but you can let the boss get up to 99 energy and nothing bad happens. So our strategy now is to actually let this cast go on for a while, and we're just going to DPS the boss down until they're both below 10%, and then we're going to kick both of them, and you can see here Laminaria, the main boss, is at 78 energy, 81 energy, but we're actually okay with that. We're okay with the boss getting a lot of energy in this phase, because we can then prevent it from getting any energy in the later phases, and we can just not deal with these mechanics in the first phase here where they're the most difficult. So now, once both bosses are dead, you'll take that teleporter, come out here towards the second stage of the fight, where you're just going to attack Laminaria directly. And here we actually get 15 seconds of just straight free DPS time, so we're going to make use of that and just attack the boss as much as we can in this time. And then we all are going to want to be stacked up afterwards because there will be a sea swell. So here it'll come in a couple seconds now, and then we will all spread out, and the melee and the ranged will do different things. So here comes an Eye of the Deep, and here comes the sea swell. Now the Eye of the Deep, this little circle thing there, needs to be soaked by at least one person. It does a lot of damage, so if it's being soaked by one person, it generally has to be a tank or somebody who's immune. But even if you immune it, you will get knocked back pretty substantially. So if you do immune it, you have to be careful of that and be ready to not get knocked off the side. Our strategy is for the tank to do it all by themselves. We have a tank whose job is just to do that. But I'm also ready, if needed, to be called to come in and use my Cheat Death or my Cloak of Shadows to help soak it as well. And now what we're also doing as melee here is we're dropping our sea swells all stacked together, and we're just slowly moving across the front of the stage here. Whereas the ranged are all slowly moving forwards from where you can see them back there, and also dropping in a nice, consistent line that will be easy to clear later. And the way that you clear this is you can see this ad that's approaching the boss. When this ad dies, it drops behind this little electric heart core thing, and you can see that Hylia there, our shaman, is going Ghost Wolf and picking it up. And what that causes to happen is now they can run over these patches of ground and actually remove them from the fight. And then a couple seconds after that, they're going to drop behind a new ad. And basically that's the way this fight works, is you kind of go in these phases of the ad gets spawned at the back of the platform, slowly walks toward the boss. It's important that you actually use an ability to slow it, like a Frost Mage. We have a Frost Mage whose job is to do that. And then as it gets close to the boss, you finish it off and it turns into a little ball of energy. Somebody picks it up, uses it to clear the yucky ground, and brings it all the way to the back again. And that just process continues. As the fight goes on, there will eventually be two of those active at once. And when there are two of them active, it's actually my job to deal with the second one, to do the running of the second one and clearing ground with it. But the first one's job is just Hylia, our shaman. Now, other mechanics that go on in this fight, obviously you can see the little electric lines from the Sister Catherine continue to happen in this phase, and the tempting sirens from Brother Joseph also continue to happen in this phase. And of course, they also come out and zap the whole raid every once in a while and just do some extra AoE damage. So basically the mythic mechanic on this fight is that in Phase 1 there are Phase 2 mechanics, and in Phase 2 there are Phase 1 mechanics. That's an easy way that you could describe it. Other than that, This is just a DPS check. It's just, this gets more and more intense as the fight goes on, but it doesn't even get that bad. All that's going to happen is soon we're going to have an extra ad to deal with. I believe we actually have 2 coming now toward the boss. And we're just going to keep attacking. This is where we decide to lust, and we're using lust to help kill the boss and both these ads. If you can see when I looked back there, that there are 2 ads active now, and those are both being attacked. And then once we successfully deal with this set of ads, we're probably going to be okay. What happens when the ads reach the boss is that they channel energy into it. And you can see the boss is pretty high on energy, 84, although not high enough that it's going to instantly kill us if the ads channel it for even a second on it. But you can see here, so now the Energized Storm is about to die. I'm standing right on it, ready to pick up the ball. And there it goes, Storm's Wail on me. And I'm clearing some of these patches of yucky ground and just bringing it to the back of the arena to spawn the ad there. And helping to hit this thing. I'm a little bit low on health here, but you can see I'm using Healthstone, Crimson Vial, those sorts of abilities in order to not die. And I'm just running to the front now, avoiding a lot of different mechanics that I'm trying to avoid here. Looking for an opportunity to help out with an Eye or the Deep Soak if one of those comes up. But otherwise I'm just attacking the boss. And the boss is now low enough that if it were to get to 100 energy, it wouldn't even be a wipe. Because it takes like a 15-second cast after getting to 100 energy to actually wipe the whole raid. So we would actually be fine with that at this point. Like, we're okay if these Energized Storms reach the boss. You can see, ooh, the whole raid took a huge burst of damage there. Stuff is going wrong here. The boss is now reaching 100 energy, and we don't have much of the raid left. The boss is at 6%, so we now are in a serious race against time. You can see I'm cloaking here in order to not die to those zappy lines as they're coming out here. Coming in with my Vendetta. The boss has another 2 seconds left on the cast, 1 second, less than a second left, the boss goes down. So it was a little bit sketchy there at the end. That was not the cleanest kill we've ever had. Something happened to do a big burst of damage to everybody that wasn't expected. I bet it was an Eye or the Deep that went unsoaked or something like that. But nonetheless, we were able to kill the boss here. Things were not, they were very hectic at the end, but we were still able to get there. And we would have gotten it a lot cleaner on the next pull, I'm sure. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this Mythic Stormwall Blockade video. Mythic Jaina coming next. Really looking forward to that one. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Hope you've enjoyed this long journey through Battle of Dazar'alor, and I'll see you in the next one as we do kill Jaina.